Mel.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, it's us. Yes. Hi. Yes. Hello, everyone. I was just. Who knows what this is going to end up becoming? But Mel and I are going to talk about the indie world from May 11th, May 11th, 2022. Um, they haven't had one since December. I guess first, let me just introduce Mel. Mel, how the hell are you?
Pretty okay, you know?
Pretty okay. Okay. I'm fine. It's fine. We're fine. We were watching, we watched the indie world and then we talked about it. We were talking over it while it was live. And boy, did we have some bangers. If only you got to see that, that would have been great. But
Yeah, maybe next time. Maybe next time.
yeah, yeah, maybe for the next one we can go ahead and do that. But yeah, so instead, what we did was started a thing. I was like, Mel, after 75 years of asking, do you want to record something and talk about the indie world? And you're like, fine, please, just leave me, please. You're messaging me at
See,
3 in the
usually,
morning.
usually I would say, "Oh, he's joking," but no, he wasn't joking. That's how it exactly happened.
Yep, it happened. That's how it happened. Send your hate mail to at Mel Needs a Name on Twitter. If you're worried about it. This is an episode of Get Indies Worlds. Am I right, Mel? Um, okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so we're going to talk about the indie world. I guess rather than just breaking it down and talking about every single game, let's start off with let's just go with the banger. What was your favorite? If you could only pick, if you could only play one of these games that came out this week, what would it be? Or announced, rather.
Mm, mm. I'm gonna go with Gunbrella. I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, a little Gunbrella action?
Yeah, a little Gunbrella action. Because when they first showed it off, it was primarily I think the umbrella they actually showed off, and that actually reminded me of Super Princess Peach, which probably most of y'all haven't played, but she pretty much used a little parasol in that game. So I was like, oh, it's kind of like that, and then it becomes a gun.
Mm-hmm.
What more do you need? You know?
Exactly. It's like whenever I see that gun coming at me in Splatoon, I fear for my life sometimes if they're really good with it. Um, but yeah, Gumbrella from the developer of Gato Roboto, another great game you should check out on the
Oh yeah,
Switch.
excellent game.
It was on Game Pass, left like a year ago, I think. It's very timely. But then Gumbrella is scheduled to come out in 2023. Um, I guess if we're gonna say I can only play one of these games that got announced, for me, I'm gonna say I just have to say whatever it's called. Dang nabbit, what is it called? Um, Curse? No, Card Shark. I
Yeah,
really,
Card Shark. That was there.
yeah, Card Shark. That was the one that was out, not now, but the demo is out now. And I think they only showed it off at the end. It was like a part of the sizzle reel at
Yeah,
the
it wasn't
end.
a bamboo. Yeah.
It was like it didn't get its own section. It was like, listen, do you want Idol Manager? How about Card Shark? This game we showed, was that 2 years ago now at this point? Two E3s ago maybe? Um,
Roughly, yes.
and it's finally coming out June 1st. And you can get the demo now, play it, enjoy it, treat yourself. And yeah. Mm, I will tell you this, Mel. If it wasn't Card Shark, it definitely would have been Cult of Lamb.
You're going for the cult of lamb.
Going for the cult
You
of
want to
lamb.
be part of the cult.
I want to be part of the cult. I want to be part of the lamb. Um, it's definitely cult of lamb. It almost lost you, Mel, didn't it?
I wasn't primarily looking at this because you know me. Cult of Lamb has, I believe, generated rooms. So, I'm not a big fan of that. But
Oh, the
this little
procedurally
showcase,
generated, right?
yeah, me, that's one of my most hated things. But I don't know, it's starting to grow back on me because the action looks very fluid, looks pretty smooth, nice artwork, and we have this clash of like cute little animals with the satanic cults, and I kind of want to see the direction of that where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
And that's actually is like what coming this year. We got like 2022. We don't know when, but like that's the
That
target date for this
Yeah,
one.
that was one of those games where most of the other games they were either, listen, this will be out in 2023 or it's coming in summer. A lot of summer games. But that was one that they were just like, it'll be out sometime in 2022 if you're lucky, you know? It has top-down battles that sort of remind me of um, Hades, but then it also has um, farming that reminds me of farms, you know?
I mean, it is a lamb, so
It is a lamb, yeah. So it's
yeah. So
vegetation only. The well, maybe not. Maybe not vegetation
yeah,
only.
we would.
Um, I guess we could go over. We don't have to name all the games, just the games that stood out to you. Is there anything else that from the list that stood out to you as ones that you that it caught your attention that maybe you got it because it was $29.99. Is there anything?
Are we just jumping into Soundfall? It sounds like you want to talk about Soundfall. That's what it sounds like to
um,
me.
Listen, I almost want to talk about the story behind you getting conned into
I mean
buying
that.
Soundfall. That's actually more fun to me than the game itself. Um,
I mean, we can do both. We can tie it in with that's the kickoff, and then go into the game itself.
okay, so do you want to tell the story or do you want
You
me?
can you can start. You can
Okay.
start.
So here's what happened. We were watching this in a Discord call and Soundfall came and she's like, "Oh, I want Soundfall." And I think I said something about it coming out today, right? You,
Yeah, because we didn't have any out todays, and we were like, "Where's our out todays now?"
yeah, we
Like
needed one.
almost half the show's over. We need an out today.
They didn't start with an out today, sadly. Ooblets, pour one out. Oh, Ooblets, we missed you. Um, but then I was like, okay, it's coming out today, and you're like, if it comes out today, I'll buy it. And I was like, all right, well, just so you know, it's probably going to be $29.99. You're like, that's not going to be $29.99. I'll buy it if it's out today. Sure enough, out today at the end of the trailer, it was like, out today, Soundfall, and there it is, Soundfall, out today. We both got it. We played some online co-op. What did you think of it?
Which actually I was actually really surprised by that because I was expecting it to be a lot more laggy than it actually was. Because the concept of the game is you have to collect like these weapons, and you have to go on beat to shoot and move. So you have like all these little enemies, and you have to be on point. So I was thinking with both of us playing, it was just gonna crap out on us, to be honest. But I found it to be pretty smooth. And once I actually got into the groove of the song itself, I was actually having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But this seems to be like it wants you to play with somebody. Cause like I did a couple of little missions on my own, and there was just a lot of enemies. I just felt like it was a little bit much. But
Oh.
I really love this concept. and there's multiple couches you can unlock. So we haven't gotten that far yet because we just did a couple levels, for your little video,
Oh,
that
yes, that's
went up.
true. Yeah, it's up there. You can check it out on youtube.com/Mel Needs a Name. It is, um, we just did the 2 player, and it seems like it's got, like, it makes use of the system's, invite system, like
Yeah,
the
it's one of the
system-wide
few games.
invites. Yeah.
Oh, it has the HD Rumble too. Like, that's actually like,
Yeah, the
you
HD,
know, buzzing off.
it
Not too
buzzes
loudly,
to the beat.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not overpowering. Like, it's not like making your hands go numb at the end of a level or anything.
Right. I played it with you multiplayer, and while you would like look like you were like a little you weren't moving as smoothly as my character does when I'm playing single player, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't move as smoothly as when I'm playing single player, but what it does do is keeps my beat on point, and like it doesn't mess up me staying to the beat of the song. And if the tempo of the song is faster, it seems like the beat is buzzing and going faster, and you got to keep up with the beat, and or take it a little slower with the beat. And shooting the enemies, if you shoot off beat, I think it's like 4 times in a row you get dizzy, and so then they can come and hit you. But it is not only a rhythm game, but also what they call it, a rhythm looter shooter. So you're,
Yes, Lugu.
yes, the old looter shooter. So you're out here getting the goods, getting up better weapons, and the weapons, not only do they attack differently, but then you're also playing a different instrument doing these different attacks.
And some of these weapons can have like attributes, contribute to them. So like one of the ones I had was like this gun that had like an ice power. So obviously, like every so often, if I hit right, it would freeze it would slow down the guy, and you can physically see it. Like he was like blue and all moving slowly. So it seems to be like the guns themselves do have different things, and there is a rock paper scissors aspect. There's like two little charts with that. So think of it kind of like a Pokemon, like water is better than fire,
Oh yeah,
that kind
it's
of.
got the, yeah. What is it like? Fire Emblem, like the sword beats whatever, arrows
Yeah,
beats, yeah, rock
yeah,
paper.
it's like the dark magic.
So basically,
Yeah, light
exactly what you
magic.
just said. Yeah. Yeah. So you can tell my ADHD was working overtime right there. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I played some more by myself in handheld mode, and even that seemed good. Uh, I would say, I think if you're not worried about playing it handheld, I would try picking it up on something like Xbox. It might perform a little better. But in terms of me and the way I play games, where I like to have the games in the palm of my hands and play them like while I'm multitasking, watching a show or something, I would suggest the Switch, because it's not one of those. It doesn't like not perform well on the Switch. I just think it might perform better, but I haven't actually played it on the Xbox. Just on the old Switch.
The
Uh
old Citroen.
the old switcheroony. Exactly. And yeah, it was nice to see a game make use of the HD Rumble, because it's been a while since,
We had
like,
one of
I
those.
play a game where I feel like, oh, they're using HD Rumble and not just regular Rumble. Um,
I was actually surprised we could do online multiplayer too, as
yeah,
well, because
I had a,
usually we get like the local only suggestion,
right, exactly.
which is
And
fine, but we couldn't play if we did that.
yeah, no, we couldn't, because it's too far away. You know, the signal wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to get street passes. Oh gosh, RIP street passes. But yeah, the game itself is a lot of fun to play, but that's not the only game that was there that one of us at least, got to play, right?
So what else you played from this
Yeah, because
group of
that was
games?
it for you, right?
Yeah, because I was not expecting that. We were goofing off the entire segment. I was like, "That's not out today. Come on, it can't be out today."
Out today,
We goofed off about the price, and the price was actually $29.99.
yeah,
It
and you're like, I'm
is
not getting
on
it, and then it
sale.
was on sale right now for like
It is on
24
sale.
now, right? Or,
Yeah, it's like for 24, which is, not as bad, but I do think that's gonna drift away some people. Because again, I do believe this is a lot more fun having someone else to play with.
oh
Because
yeah,
there is like a story, there's like, worlds you unlock, and there's actually like a lot of music. They jam packed it. Oh, and for each level, there's like a rating system at the end, and it's like you finished a level, you completed the song without like missing a beat. You got all excellence. You beat the level before the song replayed. So I thought that was neat because that's gonna give you a little more of a replay value because that's gonna drop you better like gear and money and stuff, which is gonna help for I'm guessing the later parts of the game
right,
as
yeah.
well.
And then it also does the thing where it's like, isn't one of them like beat the whole level without missing a beat? And I'm like, those, I'm never getting those. I'm never gonna get those unless.
Oh, and the levels themselves are actually pretty nice because if you watch like the video we did, there's drifting paths throughout some of the levels we did. So there might be like a little secret on like the left hand side before you just go on straight ahead. That kind of thing. So you can collect more stuff or fight more guys. That kind of thing.
Right, exactly. And it could be easier to make it through if you're not worried about the side stuff, if you're just tackling those missions we were talking about.
Yeah, because that does eat up time. So you possibly mess up 100%ing like perfection, like the actual beats of the song, or not beating the level before the song ends, which I think that's maybe one of the harder ones because we did like what 2 or 3 levels, and like
Hmm.
one level was like 2 minutes and something, I think. So you have to beat it before like it ends. So I was like, oh man,
You just
we
got to
did
keep
like
running. Yeah.
we did like what, like 6 minutes on that one because we were just looking around and stuff.
Just looking at everything. Yeah, because we still had the base level gear and we wanted more gear.
Yeah, and we actually leveled up at the same amount of like XP and stuff. So that was nice too. It wasn't like one of us did more than the other. And it's like not like one of us is counting the other. It's pretty even. And
Right.
when we collect something, the other person gets it as well. It's not just like, oh, there's only one item here and
Oh
that's it.
yeah, any one of us can pick it up and then both of us get it, which is nice.
Yeah. Because, for some of those games, it's, you know, just one. And some people can just, take stuff they don't technically need. Just saying.
Well, who would do such a thing, Mel? That's the real
I
question.
have no clue. No,
Who would do such a thing, Mel? Um, so we got this list of games, and of the ones that I played, I will just go over them. Ooblets, obviously, I played on the Xbox. Everyone knows, everyone loves it. Um, Ooblets. Mini Motorways, I played, and I enjoy that. That is definitely one of those games that I want to play sitting like on in handheld mode because it's you can just not use the nice touch screen, and it just looks the interface, it just looks so slick, and you're basically just okay, you got to get the red cars to the red building where they're working, their residents, and they need to work in the red building. The the blue houses need to get to the blue job, the blue building. So the more colors you add, the more congested everything gets. And then you're making highways, on ramps, off ramps. You're doing all of it and making bridges. You're doing anything you can to break down the congestion and get everyone to where they need to go. And it's really good. It is 14.99, I believe. And it is one of those games where you want to I want to say it's one of those games where I don't know. I really don't know. What was I saying? Mel, do you know? I can just edit this part out. Um, I mean, will I edit this part out? No one knows, but
Uh, I'm not technically sure if you would. That doesn't seem like you.
it doesn't seem like
But
something I
but
would do. But mini motorways,
but
it's sort of like a puzzle game almost. It's like a like a management puzzle. You're you're just trying to make everything go as smoothly as possible, and your main goal is to limit the traffic as much as possible and get these cars to get to their building and back, and do it without congesting too much or taking too much time, because so they might pop up where it's like, oh, you need to get you need to have this amount of cars come here in this amount of time, and the only way you can do it is by making sure there's no congestion uh, in terms of the traffic. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. It's probably more fun than it sounds when I'm explaining it, just like a Card Shark might be, because Card Shark is another game where I really enjoy it. I like the way it looks. I like the idea of this game. Not only does it like start off where it's like, hey, look at this, right? You are learning how to cheat in different card games. You're working on your sleight of hand, you're working on all this, and with the press of buttons. Or if you want, you can do it all with the touch screens, touch controls. They got that working for the whole game, and it's
ooh, so
spectacular.
nice.
Yeah. Um, you can tell when a game is like made specifically for handheld. It like works really well. This game I think would also translate really well to like, you know, iPads, any touch device. Um, but yeah, that comes out June 1st. Mel, is that a game you have any interest in?
I'm not positive if I want to play it myself because I'm afraid that this is a one and done kind of game. So if you see some of the tricks actually done, like, will I actually want to do it? That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And maybe like some people don't need to learn certain tricks of card games. Maybe they already well versed in that
Yeah,
act of the game.
it
So
is.
I want to see a little bit more of it before I can decide. But I love how it looks and I love how it's animated because I think it gives it that little extra pop, you know,
Right.
and it's gonna really look really nicely on these OLED screens we have, especially
Oh
in
yeah.
handheld mode.
It already does the demo at least. Um, this is, I would say it's more almost like an adventure game, story driven game, more than the card thing. Like the cards are there and they added it, but
Mhm.
it's mainly but this story about this character that I'm playing as so far. We'll see if it continues or if it's just going to be a bunch of different people's stories, and along the way you're learning, I think it's up to 28 different card tricks to trick people and con them, so to speak. Uh, yeah,
Do you know if like you can mix and match the tricks itself, or like this particular match has you have to use this particular trick? Does like the demo go into stuff like that, or is it just showing off a few of them and you know
um,
little razzle dazzle?
well, so far what they're doing is showing you the game, showing you the trick, and then within the next 5 minutes in the story, you need to use that trick in the game and in the situation they put you in.
Okay.
So they,
Because I'm hoping, like, for the full game, at least, you learn tricks as you go along the way, but, like, you can mix and match which tricks you want to do in certain situations. That kind of thing.
oh yeah. Well, so far, this one that I'm playing, it seems like it's the very beginning of the game. Like, this seems like the start of the game. You can even save it. You can continue if you come back later. Um,
Oh, that's really nice.
yeah. So I don't know if your save's going to carry over. It doesn't say anything about that, but it's definitely one of those things where you want to do it a certain way and you do it in the game and then boom, figure it out. Um, Card Shark. Now that comes out June. I said June 1st, June 2nd. You can go download the demo now. Another game that came out and I played was Gibbon Beyond the Trees. Now, this is a game with a message. The message is stop cutting down all the trees, you animals. And the gameplay is a 2D, almost like an endless runner, but as you're doing it, it reminds me. Did you ever play Cannonball on the iOS back when the iPhones first came
Oh,
out?
yeah. That's, like, ancient, but yeah, I
It was
played
like
that.
the black and white game, like 2D game. It reminds me of that,
Hmm.
but as you're running, if a story started to unfold, and that's what's happening. And yeah, it's about these. I think Gibbon. I think that's what they are. That's what they're gibbons. I think they're
Yeah,
like a
like,
monkey or something
the,
or an ape.
yeah, the, like, a monkey.
Yeah, and not to be confused with Donkey Kong. That everyone confuses monkeys with Donkey Kong. Now everyone knows this except for Mario. Mario knows the difference. The
They don't
um,
have any ties. They're just
yeah, they don't have any ties. They don't have any cranky people, any cranky Kongs. There's no cranky Gibbon in the game. Um,
sadly.
Unfortunately, yes, exactly. But yeah, that game is one of those games that came out on Game. No, no, not Game Pass.
Apple Arcade.
Apple Arcade. Yes, thank you. It came out on Apple Arcade. Um, so I played Mini Motorways, Soundfall, Gibbon, and Card Shark. Those are the games I played. Opus Echo of the Star Song is a game that came out, but I did not play. Not yet, anyway.
Is that on the list of playing soon, or
Ugh,
like,
we'll see. I don't know. Um, it might be one that I do eventually pick up, but in the meantime, I have all these other games to go back and play, like
of
more
course.
mini motorways. Who knows what else? Mel? Who knows what else? Um,
Yeah, who knows what else?
exactly. There was a game that you said looked pretty interesting, Mel. It comes out August 25th, and that game is Idle Manager. Is this a game you think you'll actually pick up?
Yeah, because I think this came out on PC like a year or two ago, and I was actually just very interested in the topic itself because like these idols, like like they're a pretty big deal. Like
Yep.
everything they do is star focus. It has to be like perfection. If they get like a smoothie, like everybody knows about it. It's like pictures taken. You making all these like marketing deals and such. So you actually play as like the manager. So you're making their lives like hell because they don't want to do like all of this stuff. So you have to manage the money, you have to manage the girls, you have to like
Make
see
sure
who's
they're
like your
happy.
best owner. Yeah, make sure you're happy more than they're happy. I think
Well,
is the concept.
yeah, it seems like you want to make sure you have to balance things so that they don't quit and leave. Um,
Yeah, but like you
but
have to make sure you're getting
they
your
have a full
funding
book.
and
Yeah, they have a full schedule.
full schedule.
Minimum sleep. Is were there any other games on the U.S. uh indie world that you want to mention before we stop talking about them?
Oh, we got to talk about the crab game.
We
There's no way we cannot talk about the crab game.
there's no way we could just end this without talking about
Yeah, people are
another
probably like wanting to talk
crab's
about the crab
treasure.
game.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone, if there's one thing people know about us, it's our love for crab games. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't eat crab. I don't know about you. Do you like to eat crab?
I love crab. Any kind of way, soft shell crab, the crab claws, crack those sucker open. That's a feast.
Crack it open. My God.
Yeah, crack it open. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no, but this game, you will get cracked open if you don't find another crab's treasure. And by that we mean shell. It basically looks like a roguelite game that has you running around finding debris or other shells, um, and using it as your own. And also, it plays like Dark Souls, and you got to dodge everything and watch out. And you can use the things that you find instead of a Souls like, it's a Shells like. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, it says shell was like.
Yeah. So you're basically just running around fighting against these enemies that use the weapons that they're using are also just things that debris that falls down from the ocean from us terrible humans down
Yeah,
there and then they use.
like there's one with like chopsticks and he uses them as like double swords, that kind of thing. There's like a mallet,
Mm-hmm.
plastic forks. I think I saw like a milk carton is like a house, and we have like a coffee cup as like a shell, like
Yeah.
tin cans, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
One of the bosses has a fork and a knife like tied onto their claws. And yeah, it's
In the Yeah,
in the what,
it's
Mel?
like 3D-ish, it's like 3D-ish. We don't have like a lot of big major like 3D like indie games. The world itself seems like you can like latch onto and like actually climb and crawl around. Like he actually moves like a crab, it looks like from his little legs and stuff.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
some of these enemies have like the paper umbrellas, so that's like their shield. You have to dodge and time your attacks right. I think this looking really nice, to be honest. I'm not a big Souls person, but like I might be a Shells born
You're
person.
not a Souls person, but you might be a Shells person. There's
I might be a Shells person.
another game I would suggest checking out. Going Under. That's their first game. It is currently on Game Pass, but also on Nintendo Switch. And it's not on sale now, but it does go on sale sometimes. And yeah, it's definitely worth checking out if you like roguelites where you are just going deeper and deeper into underneath this corporate business, and the deeper you get, like the more wild it is. But you're just like running around picking up stuff like vacuum cleaners and just hitting people with them and just leveling yourself up. Yeah, it's quite enjoyable, and it can sort of give you an idea of, oh, this is the same game, this is a game by these same people. um and yeah,
Yeah.
that's a 2023 game. Another Crab's Treasure. Mel, Mel. Can I call you Mel? The
I only go by Lim now,
oh,
actually.
Lem. Yes,
Yeah.
Lem has a name, and it's Lem. Um, Undying. I think is coming out in June or summer 2022, and that is the game where you are with your child. You get bit, right? You get bit by a zombie, and you need to
Yeah.
make sure your child is okay before you turn into a zombie, all while like fighting the urge to become one. You have to do other things to stop it. And this was on the Japanese indie world, but not the US one, Mel.
No, we didn't get this one for some reason. But
Hmm.
Yeah, this is this is not going to be one of those feel good stories, because there's only a certain amount of time you have before you actually turn. And as the game goes along, it looks like it's getting harder and harder to fight against it. And she has like, you know, different attributes, I think, after a certain point because I think she walks a certain way after, she's starting to turn. So it's not like the proper walk. She's like hunched over,
Yeah, like a
thirsting for like,
zombie.
she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's like thirsting for flesh, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And her kid does seem to help out. Like he has like a little slingshot, and they looked like to be crafting something at one point. But I think we all kind of know where this is going to end up. But even knowing where it ends up, it still might be a good run through to actually play. You just got to be in the right mindset, I guess,
Yeah,
before you
you got
really
to be
jump into this.
ready for zombies killing people and hoping you make it out alive or your son does, even though we can pretty much guarantee the mother will not.
Mm-mm.
Um,
I'm not seeing it.
I don't see a way out unless you get a cure, which would kind of almost be like a oh geez, really you're gonna do it that way. Omori says that in at the end of the trailer, which it wasn't on ours. Um,
I was in our last indie track. That was
yeah,
the finale.
they ended with that, and then yeah, in Japan they had Omori, and in that trailer it says coming June 17th, 2022 in Japan. So hopefully it comes June 17th, 2022 in America as well. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, because, that is a highly acclaimed game. It doesn't look like it would be from just like your first glance, but
Mm-hmm.
it has a lot of that Undertale, vibe going for it. This is also another one where I don't think it's gonna be good for certain people because it touches upon certain topics and you got to be prepared for that because this doesn't seem like it would be turning like a point over. It's just like, hey, this is what it is. It's not gonna get too much better, if at all, kind of thing. I believe there's like several endings. There's a turn-based kind of battle system.
Mm-hmm.
It's very flashy looking. Um, I've been waiting for this one for probably 7 years at this point. So I've been keeping
7.
updates on this. Yeah.
So while everyone else is saying hashtag where is Silk Song, you're like hashtag where is Amori, and they're like, oh, it's over there on the
Yeah.
Japanese indie rock.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the release date because I saw a couple days ago on Twitter that Best Buy is taking pre-orders for the retail version of this. So I was like, I know we had to get a date. They said spring. July 17th is technically spring. Just, that's really late. And that's in a busy month for me, but I'm gonna make some room for it because I've been waiting for it. I think I'm gonna really like it. And yeah, that would have been my game if they showed it off for us. If I could only play one.
That would have
That
been
would
the
have been
one. If it was on
mine.
ours,
Yes.
that would be your one.
If it was on ours, yeah. But we don't really should do like repeats. So I get it. Because I
Yeah,
don't think they got it last time.
they
So
did not get it. I think
mm,
that's how they got there. I think the same thing happened with white. What was it? The white
Neon White.
neon white. Yeah, that came, and in Japan they had a trailer for it, and it says coming summer 2022. So summer 2022, before you know it, it'll be here. Um, and that will get Neon White, which is like a first person shooter slash speed runner's dream slash male's worst nightmare because it's got card combat.
It's called Combat and it's in first person, but despite that, I think it's a really cool idea. Like,
Yeah.
because you know you want to go through as fast as possible using these cards. You have to be like perfection. You have to do this over and over and over until you actually get it. But once you get it, it's that like that rush of adrenaline. You're on top of the world kind of thing. So I'm a little sad that I personally can't play it, but I'm looking forward to people who can, and
And
hoping keeping little tabs on them. That kind of
what about for anyone that doesn't know, which is maybe everyone, Mel can't play first person shooters without getting sick, right?
Yeah, because the last one I played was Paradise Killer, and I almost didn't get it because of that. But I pushed myself through it. I really love that. That's probably one of my favorite games of the last couple of years. But I got sick about 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
throughout my playthrough.
Just what you want to hear when you're talking about your game. Like, listen, I love your game. It made me sick 3 or 4 times, but by golly, that's tells you how much I liked it because I played through it.
And I would play another one.
And
So
she would play another one. Was it more puzzle solving puzzles in that game and less action, or was there a lot of action in that too?
so there was not like a ton of action. Just they have like these secrets that they hid like throughout the whole world, that kind of thing. And they gave you like the jump ability, and they gave you like the super dash, that kind of thing. Because in that game, you're looking for like these murders that happened. You have to find clues and such. And it's non-linear, so you can just find
Oh,
different clues different ways. And you can talk to different people, and they can tell you different things. And how it does its court system is you can pretty much just go to court whenever you want. Like you can just start the game, you go to court, you don't know what you're doing, and just select stuff and hope for the best. Or you can just search the entire island and collect everything. And you can maybe persuade, the court to save some people if you really like them, kind of thing. But you have to be really smart about it. But that wasn't in this game showcase, but
it wasn't there, but
little
yeah,
off tangent.
but it's connected to what Neon White. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
totally. Yeah.
that was pretty much the indie world. I mean, there's a couple other games, but I don't think we can talk about. I'll be honest, Mel. I don't think we can talk about this indie world unless we talk about how when any person was, you could see them on the screen, their voice was not synced up to the words that were coming out of their mouth. Did you?
Shockingly enough, that happened after Soundfall. So
Yeah,
Soundfall got lucky because if that happened for Soundfall, that would have been atrocious for their showing. But
exactly. Yeah, but
I don't
no,
know how that passed through, but it somehow did.
I believe they
Which is, a little disappointing.
I believe they already uploaded the new one
Fixed version?
and with a
Okay.
fix, yeah.
So that's not too bad.
We also have another game that we forgot that was only out in Japan and it comes out in like on June 2nd, which was like what was it
Um,
through the behind the frame? That like
oh
painting
yeah,
the
behind the frame, yeah.
painting game, like story-driven painting game. Yeah,
Yeah, the story of Tangerine.
so that came out and yeah. So I think maybe we can end it there because I'm pretty sure we talked about all the stuff we want to talk about.
Yeah, we
Um,
picked our favorites.
yeah, if there's anything else you want to think is worth mentioning or that you forgot.
Um, for the golf fans, there was not Sports Story, but we had Costa Golf, which is that like golf game, which is I think this summer as well. They showed it off a couple times, but
Yeah,
I'm not a big golf person, not a big roguelike person, but I think this should do pretty decently well, you know. So that should be good for the golf people.
it should be. Yes,
And
hopefully it is. Yeah.
a little quick mention to Electric Head,
Oh yeah,
Electred,
it seems
because
to be
that
made by one
reminds me.
person.
Yeah, one person, one guy made this, and I personally get very Box Boy vibes from it. But instead of stacking boxes, you just throw in this little guy's head, and he's like made of electricity, so you have
Hmm.
to do the puzzles for that and manage your jumps. So I thought that was worth a mention as well.
Yes, you might need to throw your head at a platform to power it up because your head electrifies everything that it touches. So let's say you throw it at a platform, the platform gets charged, and then your body comes back to you, and then you can jump over onto it. Yeah, looks like a lot of fun.
And I'm sure some of them are going to be timed. Yeah, so yeah,
Oh yeah,
it looks
for
like a
sure.
nice little decent, weekend game. You blast through the weekend, but you enjoy yourself. You know what? I'll probably put that on the list for me, personally.
Put it on. Hello, put it on the list. Or
Yeah, because I'm looking at it again right now. I'm like, yeah, you know what? This does seem like me.
it does seem like you. A game that seems like me is Silt, which is like the underwater. It almost looks like Inside or Limbo, where it's like it looks like that really cool underwater level in Donkey Kong. No, I almost said Donkey Kong. If only. Don't forget, Donkey Kong fans are going to be really happy after this indie world. And yeah,
Mhm.
that I mean, we almost named everything at this point. Wild Frost looks like a game that will be definitely. It's funny that we talk about games so much, you and I, Mel and I, that, but at the same time, some games that are so my jam are not at all yours, like Wild Frost, which is like a deck builder, roguelike game. It just definitely does not seem like the type of game Mel would be out here playing.
Yeah, I would not touch that. Not even close.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I really enjoyed it. That. Comes out winter 2022. Um, yeah, and I agree with you about the Electra Head. Yeah, how it definitely feels like it was a game that is just like a 2D puzzle game. Reminds me a lot of the Box Boy and Box Girl games. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. If you were to tell me that was the new game by like the Box Boy,
that team,
or
I would believe it. Yeah,
or like the what's the other game?
the Pushmo,
Yeah, Pushmo. Yeah, Pushmo, Pulmo, those sort of games. Yeah,
Crashmo.
Crashmo.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, don't bring Dylan into this, okay? I was talking to myself with it more than you, but yeah, it was like those games. But yeah, it's quite enjoyable. I'm enjoying the games that I did play, and while it wasn't the my favorite indie world in the last few, I'm still enjoying it well enough. And yeah, so that's that. And Mel, where can people
yeah.
find you? Do you want people to find you?
Uh, I'm gonna be on Twitter. That's my home, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
Mel.
where I'm gonna be at.
Mel needs a name on Twitter. Mel also needs a follower. So go follow Mel. Talk to her about video games. Tell her I sent you. Tell her you need some barbecue sauce, and she'll know what you mean. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. All right. Goodbye.